Eritrean Women's Association of North America. محبر دك أنستيو إريتراويان أب سمن أمريكا. جمعية المرأة الإريترية في أمريكا الشمالية. Dr. Jemila Aman is a well-known public figure in the Eritrean society in Canada. She is an Eritrean educator, author, and entrepreneur, and an activist in the fields of social justice and equity. Dr. Jemila Aman is the current CEO and president of Premier Canadian Business Solutions Incorporated and president of Livelihood Development International Initiatives. As well, Dr. Jemila Aman is a professor and a curriculum developer with Humber College, Guelph Humber University. Dr. Jemila Aman is the former executive director of the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce and former executive director of Northwood Neighborhood Services. Dr. Jemila Aman's educational background includes a PhD in education from the University of Liverpool. She also has a Master of Arts degree in leadership from Royal Roads University. Dr. Jemila Aman has done extensive national and international volunteer work with NGO, non-governmental organizations, and higher educational institutions. Some of her publications include Racism, Privilege, and Power, Black Students' Experiences in Grade 11 and 12 and their transition to post-secondary school. Number 2, Integration and Merger Research. Number 3, Building Disability Support Services. And 4, Community-Centric Experiential Education. الدكتورة جميلة أمان. الدكتورة جميلة أمان شخصية إريترية بارزة ومرموقة ومعروفة في كندا والولايات المتحدة الأمريكية كمعلمة، مؤلفة، مديرة أعمال وناشطة اجتماعية في مجال العدالة والمساواة. الدكتورة جميلة أمان حالياً تشغل منصب الرئيسة التنفيذية أو CEO لشركة Premier Canadian Business Solutions Incorporated ورئيسة مبادرات تنمية سبل العيش الدولية. كما أن الدكتورة جميلة أمان أستاذة ومطورة مناهج تدريسية في كلية همبر جامعة غويلف الكندية. الدكتورة جميلة أمان هي المديرة التنفيذية السابقة لغرفة التجارة الكندية للسود والمديرة التنفيذية السابقة لخدمات حي نورث وود في ضواحي تورونتو. تشمل الخلفية التعليمية للدكتورة جميلة أمان درجة الدكتوراه في التعليم من جامعة ليفربول وماجستير في القيادة من جامعة رويال رودز. تخصصت في الإدارة العامة والتنظيم والخدمات العامة، كما حصلت على دبلومة في استشارات التوطين وتدريس اللغة الإنجليزية كلغة ثانية. قامت الدكتورة جميلة أمان بأعمال تطوعية وطنية ودولية واسعة النطاق مع المنظمات غير الحكومية ومؤسسات التعليم العالي. نشرت الدكتورة جميلة أمان 4 منشورات، هي رقم 1 العنصرية والامتياز والسلطة، تجارب الطلاب السود في الصفين الحادي عشر والثاني عشر وانتقالهم إلى مرحلة ما بعد الثانوية. رقم 2 البحث في التكامل والاندماج. رقم 3 بناء خدمات دعم ذوي الإعاقة. ورابعا التعليم التجريبي المرتكز على المجتمع.
دكتور جميلة آمان أب كندا أب زركب حبرتساو إريترا فلئت سبئية إريتراويت ممهر دراسيت بعلت النقدي كمون أب عودتات محبراوي فتحن معرنة تقالاسيت إياه. دكتور جميلة آمان أبزي حجي أوان وانا أكايديتن سرحن بريزدانتن بريميري كنداوي بيزنس سوليشن إنك كمون بريزدانت لمعات من نبابرو على مخاوي تبقصصات إيوم. دكتور جميلة آمان أب هامبر كوليج غولف هامبر بروفيسور الدلاوي سرعة مرتي إياه. دكتور جميلة آمان فتساميت دايركتر ناي تصلمتي كنداويان بلاك تشامبل أوف كوميرس نقدي فتسامي دايركتر أقلقلوت كبابي نورزوود نوربرن إيو. دحر بايتات مرتي دكتور جميلة آمان كاب ليفربول يونيفرسيتي إديوكيشن أستمهرو PhD ديجري تمرقة. بتوسخي كاب رويال رودز يونيفرسيتي ليدرشيب مرحنة ماسترز ديجري اللوا. دكتور جميلة آمان مس زي منغستاويان تكالات NGO نلعلوت تكالات مرتي سفيحة قراون على مخاون ولنتاون سراح سريحة إياه. قال كابتي صحفات زحتمتو دما كم صعب يركب. قداماي عليتن فلوي مثلا سلطان تسلم تمهارو أب 11 أب 12 كفلي زنبورو تمكرون دحري خالعي سكندر سكول درجة مسقارو ممر وهدتن تمرتن سالساي أقلقلت دقف سنكلان هتسانات رابعي محبر سب مأكل زقابره تمكراوي تمرتي.
Hello everyone, my name is Jemila Aman. Assalamu alaikum. Salam. Kofalaikum. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak at the International Day of Elimination of Violence Against Women 2024. Well, here is an alarming statistics. According to the UN Women Report, the global estimates show that a woman was killed every 10 minutes in 2023. I can attest to that even here in our backyard in Canada. Just in the month of October, there were 2 women killed. One of them, she was brutally murdered in front of her children in Ottawa, Ontario. You can imagine the trauma these kids will live because their mother was killed in front of their eyes. My topic for today is subtopic, how can we support the victim? Well, there are many ways to support the victim, but here with the limited time, we can talk about there are 10 ways that the UN Women identify. Before that, I just want to bring to your attention that according to Nancy Russo 2006, gender-based violence, according to the United Nations, have been identified that gender-based violence against women as a global health and development issue. And a host of policies, public education, and action programs are aimed at reducing gender-based violence. And the world has taken a step and hopefully our community has taken a step to eliminate gender-based violence. Well, what I mentioned earlier, how can we support a woman is by simply to listen and to believe the survivor. Many times, it's not everybody, but in our community, when a woman is abused and when she speaks about abuse and leaving the abuser, the community puts pressure on the woman to be patient and to stay, with the abuser. So I think what we need to do is to listen and to support is one of the things we can do. The second one, according to the UN report, is to teach the next generation and learn from them. And I think public education is really important to address the issue of violence against women, especially in our community. It's a real taboo, and we need to change that. And thank you so much for taking the step to organize this speaking engagement. Well, the third is call for response and the services fit for the purpose. So what we need to do is, I think wherever you are, there is a women's helpline, there is the police, there are many support systems to support the survivor. The abuse does not, or the violence doesn't start the day the woman is killed. It starts way before. And women are, told to be patient, to stay in abusive relationships. So we need to end when we realize that there is extreme violence. That doesn't mean we're not telling, families to break down. We need to differentiate between what constitutes abuse and what constitutes a healthy relationship. And I will talk about that in a minute. The third way is we need to understand consent. I don't believe that boys will always be boys. I think this is an excuse, for violence to continue in our community. And I think I do not like the notion of this statement that boys will always be boys. Consent. The man has to consent the woman for whatever reason. And also, when we want to have a discussion on abuse, we need to have the consent of the victim. If we don't have consent, then we cannot take any action. We need to learn the signs of abuse and how we can help. There are many forms of abuse, and all of them can have serious physical and emotional effects. If you are concerned about a friend who may be experiencing violence or feels unsafe around someone, view these signs and learn about the ways to help them and find safe way to support the victim. Well, here is the sixth, recommendation from the UN Women is to start a conversation. Sometimes, the victim experiences what we call, the abuse syndrome, which is the woman internalize abuse and feels that she's at fault every time there is abuse. So we need to open up the conversation and try to make the victim understand that it's not her fault that there is abuse. At this point, I just want to present a balanced approach that, yes, there is more violence against women, but there is also violence against men. Because of male-dominated societies, not only in our community, everywhere, usually men don't report it. Yes, the numbers are fewer, but there are men who are abused as well. So abuse, regardless of whether it's a woman or a man, it doesn't make it right. So it's wrong whether it's a woman who is the abuser or whether it's a man. But for today's topic, because this is the day of elimination of gender-based violence against women particularly, we're going to focus on speaking about women. Here is the seventh way, according to the UN report, is to stand up against rape and culture. Or stop sexual harassment against women. A lot of times, especially back in the days, when a woman is raped, and if you recall, and if you're as old as I am, the victim is forced to marry a rapist. And I think we need to stop practices like that. and we need to stand against rape. Rape is rape, and rape is violence. It's a brutal violence. The 8th way, according to the UN Women Report, is to fund women's organization. Fund it in many ways. There are many funders, as individuals as well. We can donate to cause that supports, violence against women. So that's one way we can support the victim. The 9th way is to hold each other accountable. And we need to make the victim feel that she is not alone. So we need to support women who are experiencing violence, and we need to find them a safe haven and all that. So here is the effective way to combat violence against women is to effectively, combat gender-based violence. We need to understand the issue. We need to understand the relevant data collection is key to implementing successful prevention measures and providing survivors with the right support. So the gaps in gender sensitive data collection have become more glaring than ever. Call on your government to invest in the collection of data on gender-based violence as well. And those of you who are academic and who are researchers, are encouraged to conduct research in our community. Once we have the data, and I think governments and institutions are willing to support, so we need to present the data. Nowadays is everywhere data-driven decisions. Government usually implement programs that are data-driven, are more effective and more efficient. Here is, we need to recognize the relationship, what is healthy and unhealthy relationship. And we need to look at adaptability. One thing healthy relationship largely share is adaptability, says Linda Atten, a therapist in Berkeley, California. They adapt to circumstance and the fact that we are always changing and going through different phases in life. So those of us who are easily adaptable, and especially when we look at immigration, many of us coming from Africa or coming from Eritrea particularly, and when we come to North America, women tend to adapt very quickly to their new environment. And because we come from a male-dominated societies, sometimes, it's not always, and it's not everybody, however, the men don't adapt quickly, and that could cause violence against women more glaring. Okay, partners in good relationship have open communication. So this is one way to keep a healthy relationship. Should be comfortable talking about, any issues that come up, from things that happen in everyday life, such as work or friend stress, to a more serious issues such as mental health, symptoms of financial constraints. Even if they have different opinions, they listen without judgment and then share their perspective. So communication goes both ways. It's important to also feels that their voices and their concern is heard. I think I was given only 10 minutes for this presentation, so I'm going to end it, but I think this topic is huge, and I don't think we have done justice in addressing. So I'm going to end it by saying, thank you so much. I had more slides, but I think because of time, we are not able to address all the slides at this particular time. Perhaps maybe at a later date, we are able to do more justice to the topic and we can have more discussions. I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me, and we need to have more conversations like this to address issues that are impacting our community negatively, and especially impacting women negatively and impacting children as well. Thank you so much, and I hope we can meet again.
Eritrean Women's Association of North America. محبر دك أنستيو إريتراويان أب السمن أمريكا. جمعية المرأة الإريترية في أمريكا الشمالية.